What's up, guys? I decided to make this video because it's gotten to the point now where I can't even believe what I'm seeing and I want to speak out about it. Real quick, for those of you who don't already know, I mostly play operations, and so my experience is going to be from the perspective of someone who mostly plays the extraction side of this game and very rarely plays warfare. The cheating in this game has reached a point where I can hardly tell who's legit anymore. And with the nature of an extraction shooter, dying to cheaters doesn't just ruin that match, but it also hurts your overall stash value and makes affording gear for the next raid harder and harder. This game has always had a cheating problem, especially on the operations side of things, but it's been sort of an ebb and flow type of situation where the ban waves were putting a dent in the cheating, and some weeks the game has felt legitimately good. I know it's essentially impossible to completely mitigate all cheating, and at least for the time being, it will always be an issue. But since right before the season update, and even more so now, it's become borderline impossible to play this game at times. And to say I'm frustrated with it would be an understatement, to say the least. Before I get deeper into this topic, I want to share two different clips I have just to show what I've been seeing in my matches. In this first clip, I don't even really know what to say about it. This guy, I had already ran into him at Minisub like 2 or 3 matches before this, and I thought something was kind of weird, and I told my team to kind of run away, and I didn't bother watching the kill cam because I just, quite frankly, I don't really care anymore. This match, I rotated very, very carefully all the way around the backside of the map, and we heard shooting at garage, and I told my team that I'm going to go to the zip line and I'm going to kind of hold there because there's a good chance this team's going to rotate out that way, and I should be able to catch them while they're rotating, and we might be able to clean them up. I didn't alert any bots. I didn't make a whole bunch of noise. I was careful. I got there quietly, and this happened. I'm pretty sure, just based off of the distance between me and this guy, he shouldn't have heard me to begin with, but there's a bush there, several bushes, and many other things in the way where he really shouldn't see me and definitely shouldn't be able to just instantly kill me. And after watching that kill cam, I was pretty much convinced that guy is not legit, and that costed me rank points, and I lost a pretty expensive kit off of that. I'm pretty sure I had like $1 million kit on, and it's gone now. This next clip is on Space City. I believe it was Space City normal, which is the craziest part. And it's another situation where I rotated very carefully. I was very deliberate with not putting myself in a position where they would know what I'm doing. We had seen them already on the bridge when we were crossing over, so we knew that there was going to be a team. And I did not peek that box until I died. I purposely kept myself at a level where this guy couldn't see me, and I was scanning the area very carefully, and I didn't alert any bots. I didn't make any noise, but as you can see from the kill cam, this dude is staring at me through at least 2 walls and pre-aiming my head, waiting for me to peek over. There's nothing I can do about that. I just die instantly. I'm finding it difficult to get my friends to play this game with me because every time they get on, it feels like these types of situations are commonplace. And with enough of these in a single play session, no sane person can play this game without eventually getting irritated. I decided to take some time to go watch other streamers. I went on Twitch and I just was going to scroll through and just watch a bunch of different ones and see if I could find people that are also struggling with this issue. A lot of them are. It's not just me. And then I also noticed while doing that there's some that I saw where they seem to have the same type of extra information and the same type of sticky aim and just weird stuff going on, and they're streaming it to people and nobody in their chat is really saying anything about it, and they're just getting away with it. And I don't know how people don't notice what they're looking at, because I can notice pretty easily that there's something weird happening. I won't say names or try to call anybody out, but it seems like the people watching them just couldn't be bothered to say anything about it, and I find it disheartening. I understand fully that I'm not the best player in this game, and that there are people with superior aim and game sense that deserve to outplay me and my team. I genuinely enjoy the challenge of fighting good players and knowing that my mistakes are what costed me a fight. It's how I can learn and become a better player. It isn't my intention to be the best at this game. I want to have fun and laugh and pull off some cool stuff while I do it. But I also know that I'm not a bad player by any means. I've trained my aim and I've played enough of this game and even other games to have at least a decent amount of game sense. I try to learn from my mistakes and figure out what I could have done better to come out of more situations alive. But I also can see when things don't really make sense. When somebody's aim doesn't look natural, or when somebody seems to have decision making that isn't correlated to the information that they've been given. And this situation of feeling that the team I just fought was suspicious is becoming all too common in this game. If you want to have a genuine laugh, just take a minute and look at the weekly leaderboard. With the state of this game at the moment, it becomes interesting to see that some people just aren't having a difficult time fighting cheaters and are rarely dying to these people. I won't discredit the fact that a team of really solid players that make great decisions and have great aim could still compete and find success, because I know that even I win fights against some of these cheaters. It isn't impossible, but not all of this looks legit to me. This brings me to my next point. I don't blame the devs exclusively for this, because I know that this entire situation is more complicated and difficult to manage than you believe at first glance. And I know that simply banning everybody isn't a feasible option, but there are some things that you can't convince me make any sense. This season came with a new map, and looking at it from a design perspective, it's genuinely dope. The map is really interesting, and I'd even argue some parts of it look stunning. In particular, the outside part of the map is awesome. I literally was blown away when I saw it. But the hard maps in this game are essentially unplayable right now. I pretty much go into these expecting to die and just immediately start grabbing whatever I can to put in my safe box, because I know it's filled with cheaters. And with the entry cost of prison in particular, dying is a costly affair. I can barely convince anyone I play with to even bother queuing for this map, because we all know it's basically a waste of time. And this really sucks, because the map itself is actually awesome. The same goes for Space City Hard, which is equally as filled with wall hacks and aimbot at every corner. There are some things that these devs could implement that would at least help the situation, and I don't understand why it hasn't been done yet. What is going on with people's names? I know for a fact that I'm not the only person that sees this. There's symbols in names, legitimate symbols. I don't even know how you'd find them to begin with. Trademark symbols, question marks with diamonds around them, special dots. I've even seen invisible characters that you can't find, so you can't type their name in. On top of that, a lot of people, and I'm sure if you play this game, you've seen it, there's people with names of other languages. May it be Chinese, may it be Russian, whatever. And they use a different alphabet, which, looking at my keyboard, I can't type any of that in. I've realized that the people with these names, with Chinese names or Russian names or whatever, they're not Chinese. They're not Russian. They're in the US. These are US people that do this simply for the fact that it makes it harder to report them. Yeah, you can take Google Lens and scan it and then copy it into your Discord on your phone, and then copy and paste it out of Discord on your PC, paste it into the game. Sometimes that doesn't even work, but it is an option, but that's a lot of extra steps and most people aren't going to bother. This simply shouldn't be allowed. There's no reason why you need a name with some special characters that make it hard to type in. And a good way to circumnavigate this whole problem is just make it to where on every screen, even on the kill cam, there should be a way for me to click your profile and pull you up and report you. Not to mention, another giant red flag that I've noticed is hidden histories. Why is that an option? I can't think of one valid reason why you would want to hide your history besides the fact that you and or your teammates are suspicious and you don't want people to report you and or your teammates. My point in making this video was not to only express my frustration, but also to let people know that I'm seeing this too, and you are not alone. I refuse to cheat in any game. I don't care if it means I'll never be on the leaderboard or if my stats suffer because of it. I'm here to have fun and make cool content. That's all I want at the end of the day. This problem is rooted in the people who download and use these cheats. The people that go online and try to gaslight everybody into thinking the issue isn't as widespread as it is. I look forward to a time where fights are won by skill alone and leaderboards and stats actually have the same value that they used to have. But right now, this just isn't the case. I hope to see this improve before console release so that this game can continue to grow and be a solid extraction shooter. Before I end this video, I do want to say if you guys are suffering through the same stuff that I am, leave a comment down below. Let me know about it. I want to hear about your stories, the type of things that you're seeing. And honestly, part of me just wants some validation because I would like to know that I'm not the only person out here struggling like this. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, help push it through the algorithm. Maybe it'll push the devs to do something about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all are absolutely amazing. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.